Have you ever wondered how your online orders arrive so quickly from the other side of the world? Or how massive ships, the size of skyscrapers, can magically cut across a continent? A huge part of that answer lies in one of the most ambitious engineering projects ever undertaken, the Panama Canal. For over a century, this 51-mile waterway has been the lifeblood of global trade, but its creation is a story of epic failure, incredible ingenuity, and immense human sacrifice. This isn't just a story about digging a ditch. It's a tale of two empires, a medical revolution, and a battle against nature itself. Let's turn back the clock to the 19th century. The idea of connecting the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans was the dream of mariners and merchants for centuries. Sabine, nearly 8,000 miles off the journey around South America's treacherous Cape Horn, would change the world. The man who first dared to make this dream a reality was Ferdinand de Lesseps, a French diplomat flush with success from building the Suez Canal. He was a national hero, a visionary. In 1881, backed by enormous public and private investment, his company arrived in Panama with grand plans. De Lesseps was confident. He envisioned a sealable canal, just like his triumph in Egypt. He believed he could simply carve a channel straight through the narrow isthmus of Panama. But Panama was not Egypt. The Suez was built through flat, sandy desert. Panama was a dense, mountainous jungle, prone to torrential rainfall and relentless landslides. The Chagres River would swell into a raging torrent, washing away weeks of work in a single afternoon. The soft, volcanic soil of the Culebra Cut, the highest point of the Continental Divide, would slide back into the excavation pit as fast as workers could dig it out. But the earth and water weren't the most formidable enemies. The real killers were invisible. The jungle was teeming with mosquitoes carrying two deadly diseases: yellow fever and malaria. Workers, mostly brought in from the West Indies, began falling ill at an alarming rate. Hospitals were over. At the peak of the French effort, it's estimated that hundreds were dying every month. They didn't understand that mosquitoes were the culprits. Theories at the time blamed miasma or bad air. The sheer scale of the death toll was horrifying. The project became a financial black hole and a human catastrophe. After 8 years of struggle, spending a staggering $287 million, billions in today's money, and losing an estimated 22,000 lives, the French company went bankrupt. The dream was dead, and the half-dug canal was left to be reclaimed by the jungle. The failure was so total that it seemed no one would ever dare to try again. But one nation was watching very closely: the United States. As America's naval and commercial power grew, the strategic importance of a canal became undeniable. President Theodore Roosevelt was a fervent believer. He famously said, "I took the Canal Zone and let Congress debate." And that's essentially what happened. In 1903, the U.S. supported Panama's independence from Colombia. In return, the newly formed nation of Panama signed the Habuna-Varilla Treaty, granting the United States control over a 10-mile-wide strip of land, the Canal Zone, in perpetuity. The stage was set for round two. The Americans had learned a crucial lesson from the French disaster. You unbuild a canal if your workforce is dying. So, before a single shovelful of new earth was moved, they launched an unprecedented public health campaign. The man in charge was Dr. William Gorgas, an army physician who had helped prove the mosquito theory during an outbreak in Cuba. His task was immense. He orchestrated a mosquito war. Swamps were drained, fumigation squads went door to door, and rainwater barrels were covered. He screened off hospitals and homes and distributed quinine to workers. It was a massive, systematic effort to eradicate the mosquito breeding grounds. The results were nothing short of miraculous. Within a year, yellow fever was completely wiped out in the Canal Zone, and malaria rates plummeted. Gorgas had saved thousands of future lives and made the entire project possible. With the health crisis under control, the focus shifted to engineering. The new chief engineer, John Stevens, was a pragmatic, no-nonsense railroad man. He took one look at the French sea level plan and declared it impossible. The Culebra Cut landslides and the Chagres River floods were simply insurmountable with that design. Stevens proposed a radical new approach: a lock-based canal. Instead of carving through the mountains, why not go over them? His plan was brilliant. They would build a massive dam across the Gorgas River, creating the largest artificial lake in the world at the time. Gatun Lake. Ships would enter from the ocean, be lifted 85 feet up to the level of the lake through a series of giant locks, sail across the lake, and then be lowered back down to sea level by locks on the other side. This was engineering on a scale never before seen. The construction of Gatun Dam required moving mountains of earth and rock. The locks themselves were concrete behemoths, with chambers over 1,000 feet long and 110 feet wide. Their steel gates were 7 stories tall. Pouring that much concrete in a humid, remote jungle was a logistical nightmare. But the Americans had another advantage: industrial might. They brought in massive steam shovels that could do the work of hundreds of men, and an extensive railway system to haul away the excavated spoil. Even so, the Culebra Cut, now renamed the Galliard Cut, remained a brutal challenge. Landslides were a constant threat, and for years, it was a race between digging and the mountain sliding back in. The workforce was, once again, largely drawn from the West Indies, along with laborers from Europe and the United States. They worked in grueling conditions, facing heat, humidity, and the constant danger of construction accidents. But unlike the French era, they had better housing, food, and medical care. The project was a hive of activity, a symbol of American power and determination. Finally, after a decade of relentless effort, on May 20th, 1913, 2 steam shovels, working from opposite directions, met in the middle of the Galliard Cut. The excavation was complete. Later that year, the tugboat Gatun made the first trial run through the locks, proving the system worked flawlessly. On August 15th, 1914, the world watched as the cargo ship SS Ancon made the first official transit, marking the grand opening of the Panama Canal. The project had cost the U.S. around $375 million and, tragically, about 5,600 more lives. But the impossible had been achieved. What began as a French tragedy had been transformed into an American triumph, a monumental structure often called one of the 7 wonders of the modern world. It revolutionized global shipping, solidified America's position as a world power, and stands today as a testament to the sheer force of human will against the power of nature. Thank you so much for watching this journey through history with us. If you found this story as fascinating as we do, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into the incredible feats of engineering that have shaped our world. See you next time.